Welcome everyone to Michael Romeo Talks Books and Vlogmas Day 4. In his book, Fill My Stocking, Alan Titchmarsh says, "Of course there are those who can't be doing with all this sentimental tosh." George Bernard Shaw was typically grumpy about the whole Christmas thing, and Cassandra, William Connor, who wrote for the Daily Mirror, had a similar jaundiced view of Christmas cards. "We'd better let them have their say, then we can get on." I agree. To the Cynics. An Atrocious Institution by George Bernard Shaw. The World, 20 December 1893. Like all intelligent people, I greatly dislike Christmas. It revolts me to see a whole nation refrain from music for weeks together in order that every man may rifle his neighbor's pockets under cover of a ghastly general pretense of festivity. It is really an atrocious institution, this Christmas. We must be gluttonous because it is Christmas. We must be drunken because it is Christmas. We must be insincerely generous. We must buy things that nobody wants and give them to people who we don't like. We must go to absurd entertainments that make even our little children satirical. We must writhe under venal officiousness and legions of freebooters, all because it is Christmas. That is because the mass of the population, including the all-powerful middle-class tradesmen, depends on a week of license and brigandish, waste and intemperance, to clear off its outstanding liabilities at the end of the year. As for me, I shall fly from it all tomorrow or the next day to some remote spot miles from a shop, where nothing worse can befall me than a serenade from a few peasants, or some equally harmless survival of medieval mummery, shyly proffered, not advertised, moderate in its expectations, and soon over. In town there is, for the moment, nothing for me or any honest man to do. That's one cynic. The next cynic, Cassandra, wrote Missiles Through the Post. Let me see. I need a sip. I've got a cup of chai here, which is perfectly brewed. Missiles Through the Post by Cassandra. During the next 3 days, about 350 million Christmas cards will be fired in the British Isles. The whole practice is such a thundering nuisance that it is high time that some practical advantage, such as causing unhappiness, was extracted out of the wretched business. I think I can point the way. The first, and one of the most essential things to decide, is when to shoot. Timing is of critical importance. A premature Christmas card is not only ineffective, but can be downright humiliating to the sender. It reveals one's position, discloses the size and weight of the ammunition, and often provokes a devastating counterattack. The next thing to understand is the value of size in Christmas cards. Important people and people who think they are important send big and important looking Christmas cards. This makes the recipient feel small, which is precisely what was intended. Expensive Christmas cards can be deadly too, for they are usually fired by expensive people to make their victims feel cheap. This is often quite costly, but well worth it. The very small Christmas card can be pretty insulting too. Don't underestimate its destructive value. It shows what you think of the addressee, practically nothing. It is a mistake to make them too small, as they then become rather cute and are liable to give pleasure. Avoid this dangerous mistake. A really contemptuous size is about 3.5 inches by 2.5 inches. They are a bit difficult to obtain in the shops just now, but are well worth the suffering they cause. So there we go. Two cynics saying what they have to say about Christmas, representing their crowd. And now we will move on, starting tomorrow, with more festive things. See you then.